Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy, and this is my latest tutorial. This is a chainmail making tutorial. But rather than the normal type of chainmail that I've done a video on before, this is Dragonscale chainmail. It's really beautiful. Can you see that? It has a wonderful pattern. It uses two different ring sizes, large ring and a small ring. Here's a look at normal chainmail. 4-in-1 it's called. All right, excellent. And there's a look at the Dragonscale. This is not a beginner's chainmail. This is a little bit more advanced. If you've never made chainmail, you might want to start at my normal tutorial for this. I'll put a link there so you can go to that if you want to check that out. You know, it's easy to make. The video is really well done, and it will help you to make chainmail, spin out some wire, and I show you everything, how to spin out the wire, what wire to get, and everything, and make chainmail. This tutorial is for Dragonscale, a little more advanced, much better looking. Takes more time, and it's a denser mail. So we ended up making a collar for El Guapo. So, all right, so let's do the introduction, and then let's launch into how to make Dragonscale chainmail. Quite beautiful. Thank you. Let's take a quick look at what you're going to need to do this chainmail. You're going to need 5/8" rings. And 5/8 means the size of the shaft, so that's the inside diameter. You're going to need 3/8" rings. And the important thing is that the small ring fits inside the large ring, because you can tinker with those sizes, but the important thing is the small ring fits in the large one. You're going to need some pliers, and try different types of pliers depending on your hand and what's comfortable for you. Something to cut the wire with, which is 14-gauge steel fence wire that's been spun out. And that's it. In the other tutorial, my beginner's chainmail tutorial, I show you all the various things on how to get started, how to make a little jig, how to spin out the rings, and how to make all of that. But I don't cover that in this video because this is more of an intermediate video. And let me give you a tip on an important tip when it comes to making chainmail: lefty-righty. If you're a right-hander, take that ring and when you open it, open the right side toward you. Pull the right side toward you. And I'll show you why in a sec. And if you're a lefty, when you're opening the ring, pull that left side toward you. There you go. And this is why, because when you're weaving the mail, there's a righty. When you're weaving the mail, having it open that way makes it very easy to weave it. You just take the ring and you put it in like this. It goes in a ring, goes in another ring, and you're done. See? But if it's bent the other way, it's a little more awkward. So just consider that and keep that in mind when you're opening rings. Always pull the ring towards your dominant hand. So if you're a lefty, pull that left side toward you. See, and here's the lefty doing it. Just very easy to weave that way. And in this video, you're going to see we actually do it both ways. So let's get started. Start out with 4 large rings. And we're going to do 4 like this just for the tutorial. And you should start out this way too, so you can stay exactly what we're doing. But of course, you can make it as wide as you want or as narrow as you want, depending on what you want to do. But this shows you how to do the weave. So start with 4 large rings and then connect them together with little rings, which in effect comes out with 3 little rings that are going to connect those rings. And I think I'm going to say rings in this video a lot. So let me speed this up a little bit. And I wanted to show you a little something about the orientation of those little rings. So there you go. 4 rings connected by little rings. 3 little rings. And how those small rings are connected is important. Are oriented is important. It's something that's easily overlooked. These are correct. You don't want any or all of the rings to be like this. See how that? Now it's the other way. It's facing down, I guess you could say. Look at the rings and make sure they're not that way. Make sure flip it over to face that way. That's important or the chainmail won't come out right. So always be checking for that as you place rings. So now let's continue on. We're going to do the second row. And because we're starting, it's a little bit different. The pattern is a little tiny bit different. You won't even notice that. Put a large ring over your small ring. And then capture it with a large ring. See it? and this is your left end. So that's why it's kind of only in one ring. There you go. And I'll do it again now with your next small ring. Place a large ring over the small ring. And now you connect two small rings with a large ring. See it? Take your time there. Once you get started on this, you'll be fine. And that's how it goes, like that. So close that up. See the two small rings, it's connected. You know, and it's an interesting thing what we're actually going to be doing here. And I will show you, you will understand. If you have to watch this video a few times, do that. You will understand how this works. But yeah, actually going to be, when you connect a row of rings, you don't connect it to the previous row, you connect it to the row you had put before that. So each row kind of reaches past a row to the penultimate row. It's really rather interesting. So you continue on with that pattern until you get this. We had put another large rings, more large rings. Isn't that beautiful? So now we're going to do our next row. And we're going to connect those three rings like this. Right there and there with a small ring. Beautiful. And now continue on to the right and do the same thing. Capture those large rings with a small ring. Right there and there. Oh, and another nice tip is, see that's a barbecue skewer, that wooden barbecue skewer. Nice little tool for making chainmail. We use it as a pointer, but it also comes in handy with keeping the rings straight. And another thing is, and I think I showed that in the other video, is you can actually, you know, lay down cardboard or foam board and use pins to hold the chainmail in place. And there we go. We put our ring in there, get it seated just right, and you're all set. Now we're going to add a small ring to the left and right. Normally it would connect two large rings, but this is the end of the pattern, so it only actually connects one. And then same thing on the right. So there we go. There are 4 small rings. So let's continue on with the pattern. Another row of small rings like this, connecting 2 large rings. See how, what was the last row we put? Was the small rings, right? We don't connect to that. We connect to the row before it that we had placed before it of large rings. Capture 2 large rings and close it up. Same thing there, move over to the left. Capture 2 large rings and close it up. And there you have it. So let's do another row. So now we're going to do a large row. And it's going to connect, right, 2 rows back. Not the last row we did. There to there. And there to there. See it? Those small rings. Feed it in like this and feed it through and then close it up. Now those 2 small rings we captured, one of those rings there, you'll see, also gets another ring. See, now we capture 2 more, like this. And close it up. I got one more to do here. And that's it. Close it up. And remember, it's not that last row we had placed, it's the row before it. So let's take a look. Nice, very nice. Everything is symmetrical and uniform, and you can usually tell when something's out of place, because it doesn't quite look right. Straighten them all out. They're all beautiful. Okay, now a row of large rings. Capture those three we had placed previously, not the last one, the one before. We capture those three small rings with large rings. And put the outside ones too, and these only get one. They only go into one small ring because there's no more large rings. You know, that row only has 3 small rings. Same thing on the right. That third small ring is the end ring. We just put a ring in it, so everything stays straight. Very good. So what do we got? About another 2 minutes of this video. Hang in there. You can see the pattern is complete, and we're just repeating now. Very, very nice. So now we're going to capture here and here, and here and here, right? The previous large, not the large rings we just put, the large rings we put before it. And we capture with small rings. You know, it's interesting. You can, what it is you put 2 row of large, 2 row of small, and they always connect to the opposite. You know, when you're putting small rings, they always connect to large rings. And when you're putting large rings, they always connect to small rings. See it? One there. One there. And then one's on the outside edges too. Just straightening it out. Let's just straighten it out so we can see it. One there on the outside edge to make it flush along the sides, right? Right, one there, right there, and on there too, right there. If you can see that right there, if you're understanding that, you're golden. You're going to be making chainmail. If you're not understanding it, it's a little complicated. Trust me. I watched this video, edited this video, done it quite a few times. Clarity comes. Keep at it. Start from the beginning. Watch it some more. Shoot me an email. I don't mind answering questions. I am doing the web tutorial. Now the pattern just repeats from here. I'm doing the web tutorial with pictures that might be helpful, because then I put in diagrams and stuff that to help show you where it goes. But you're always reaching in one extra set. Like, you don't connect to the last row you put. You connect to the row before that one. So you're kind of reaching in. You do 2 smalls, and then you do 2 large rows and 2 small rows. So can you guess what's next? We just did a row of small. Now we're going to do another row of small. And we don't connect to the previous row of small we just did. We connect to the large row, just like this. Beautiful. And that's it. The pattern repeats and repeats and repeats from here. Now you would do, next you would do a row of large. So thanks for watching. Give it a shot. Don't give up on it. Use copper wire for softness just to practice if you want. You know, chainmail is very rewarding. I have a lot of pictures from people who have sent me the chainmail they've made. I very much appreciate it. Send me pictures. I will put them on my website. I don't think we're going to be doing any actual large pieces of chainmail with this weave, you know, clothing or anything, because it's just too many hours of work and I got a lot of other projects to do. But send me pictures of yours if you make some. So that's it. Dragonscale chainmail. Looks beautiful. Thank you very much. Here's some other projects you might like. I keep talking about my 4-in-1 base beginners tutorial. That's the one up top there. That's the one you want to start with if you've never made chainmail. And down below I show you how to make a chainmail coif. That's the headgear. I show you how to do that. It's a little bit of a weave. Thank you. It was a long time ago and I only remember a little bit. But the orders had been given for us to go to battle. And I was to leave in a few days. I had a tunic, a helmet, and an old halberd that my father had used when he marched off to battle when he was young. That's all I had. My wife, with her beautiful long brown hair, cut it and took it to the market and traded and bartered to get some steel wire. She took that wire and she formed it into rings and formed chainmail, made a piece about the size of your hand. She sewed that into my tunic over my heart. I tried it on and she pointed at it and said, "Bring this back to me." She wasn't referring to the chainmail. That's all I can remember. The rest is lost to me. A mystery abounds.